There are many tales of the gods, told and retold by mortals who peer into the heavens with awe. They speak of Zeus, the mighty sky father, and Poseidon, the tempestuous lord of the seas. Yet few venture to speak with ease of Hades, the eldest brother who reigns beneath the earth. I, Hermes, the messenger, have crossed into his realm more times than I can count, and I will tell you of the Lord of the dead as only a fellow god can. To know Hades, one must first understand his beginning. When the Titans were overthrown by us Olympians, it was Zeus who led the charge, throwing down Cronus, our father. The spoils of victory were vast, the heavens, the seas, and the world beneath. By the fates' will, it was Zeus who would reign in the sky, Poseidon who would master the oceans, and Hades who drew the lot to rule the underworld. There were no complaints, no tears, only the solemn understanding that the cosmos had been divided and each of us had our part to play. Hades did not fight for more, unlike Zeus, who constantly sought power, or Poseidon, whose restless nature demanded attention. Hades embraced the underworld. He took to his realm not as a punishment, but as a duty. There was dignity in this work. After all, it was he who ensured the souls of mortals found their rest or their torment. And so he vanished beneath the earth, becoming both king and warden of all who passed beyond the mortal coil. Beneath the surface, the underworld stretches far beyond what mortals imagine. They think of it as a place of eternal suffering, but it is more complex than that. The river Styx winds through realms of silence and shadow, where the souls of the dead are sorted and judged. The Elysian fields are not a myth, but a place of peace and reward for the virtuous. Tartarus, deep and dark, holds those whose sins weigh heavier than the world. And then there is Asphodel, the eternal meadow where most souls wander, their memories lost to time. Through it all, Hades presides, seated upon his throne of cold stone. His demeanor is often mistaken for cruelty, for the Lord of the dead speaks little and rarely concerns himself with the affairs of the living. Yet it is not cruelty, but duty that marks his brow. Mortals come to him as shades, stripped of their mortal concerns, their hopes and their fears. Hades does not mourn for them, nor does he revel in their fate. He is simply their keeper. Of course, even the Lord of the dead is not without companionship. When Persephone, the daughter of Demeter, first entered his realm, it was not by choice. Zeus himself had granted Hades the right to take her as his bride, but it was Hades who saw her beauty and desired her for his own. The tale mortals tell is one of abduction, a god stealing away a maiden in a chariot of darkness. But, as with all things, the truth is more nuanced. Hades did not need to steal her heart, for in time, she came to understand the weight of his crown, and her presence softened his once solemn throne, yet their union came at a cost. Demeter, in her grief, let the earth fall barren, and the world above withered under her sorrow. It was a compromise, as most things are among the gods, that allowed Persephone to return to the surface each spring, bringing life back to the world for half the year. In those months, Hades' realm becomes a little colder, a little darker, as he waits for her return. He does not complain, for he is patient, a king accustomed to waiting. Among the Olympians, Hades is the most misunderstood. His brothers rule with might and fury, their tempers shaping the fate of mortals through storms and lightning. But Hades has no need for displays of power. His domain is eternal, unshaken by the whims of the living. Mortals do not worship him as they do Zeus or Poseidon, for they fear him. But it is a quiet reverence, born of the knowledge that all must one day come to him, and when they do, they will find him waiting. Yet for all his power, Hades does not meddle in the affairs of the living. He leaves that to the other gods, content with his place beneath the earth. He is not cruel, but neither is he merciful. He is simply just, an impartial judge who ensures that the laws of life and death are upheld. I have seen him many times in his realm, surrounded by the shades of the dead, and each time I am struck by his solitude. Unlike Zeus, who holds court on Olympus with the other gods, or Poseidon, whose seas teem with life, Hades' court is filled with silence. The dead do not speak unless spoken to, and Hades himself rarely calls upon the other gods. He is content in his solitude, a ruler who understands that his role is not to be loved or feared, but to be respected. As I, Hermes, leave his realm after each journey, guiding souls to their final rest, I often find myself reflecting on his nature. Hades is no villain, nor is he a hero. He is a god who exists in the balance of things, neither seeking glory nor shirking his responsibilities. He is the inevitable, the final stop on the journey of life, and for that, he deserves not fear, but respect. He is, after all, the only god who can say with certainty that all will come to him in time.